Today on Homeworthy, we're taking you to Toronto to meet Alexandra Gater, a home decor expert who connects with millions through her home makeover videos on YouTube. Alexandra makes design accessible for renters and homeowners alike and believes everyone deserves to live in a beautiful space that feels like home, no matter their budget. Alexandra's own home is full of character, DIY projects, and a lot of pink. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. To shop items inspired by this and other Homeworthy episodes, be sure to check out the product links below for amazing furniture, accessories, and more.
Hey Homeworthy, my name's Alexandra. Welcome to my home in Toronto. Come on in. Hi, I'm Alexandra Gater. I am from Toronto, Canada, and I am a home decor YouTuber. So I actually go into people's spaces, usually rentals, usually small spaces, and make them over with my team. The makeovers are completely gifted, and the goal is really to show my YouTube audience that it's possible to live in a beautiful space no matter what your decorating experience is, no matter your budget. I am also the author of a coffee table book called Own Your Space, where I walk through really simple, easy ways you can make your rental feel like home. So I live in a rental apartment within an old Victorian home. This home was actually built in the 1800s, so it's a heritage home here in Toronto. I personally love living in an older home because it's filled with character. And when we moved in, it was really a blank slate, and I changed a lot, and thankfully have landlords who were just so game for me to do whatever I wanted. I know people are always curious, like, what's your design style, or what design styles are you drawn to? And to be honest, I'm always stumped on that question because I feel like I love so many different styles. And something that I have really learned is to just buy what I love instead of trying to match a specific style. But if I had to narrow it down, I would say I love eclectic design, I love boho design, and I really love color. With a neutral base. So lots of colorful accessories, and I love bright spaces, like Scandi spaces. I love the brightness, light wood tones. So I guess to sum it up, I would say I love an eclectic design style and lots of color. Welcome to my living room. This is the space my partner and I spend most of our time in, I would say, and it also was the hardest room to design. I could not get this space right. I actually made it over 3 different times, but I feel like it's finally in a space where I'm happy with it, I love it, and it's just really, really comfortable. I think one of the main features of this living room and this entire home is the iconic stained glass. It lets in rainbows in the afternoon, which is so cool. Like the sun pours in and then there's these rainbow shapes on our wall. Another thing is the molding. I love all the molding in this space, and I really kind of leaned into that when I was making over this wall. This wall was so difficult to get right because it always just felt really blank, really open. I didn't know if I should paint it a color, but I landed on this peel and stick molding actually from a brand called Luxe Architectural. They sell these panels that you can just stick on the wall. I painted them the same color as the wall. They look like they've always been here. And I feel like it really complements the original molding in the home, like again, adding that character. And it filled the wall a lot. Even though it's a simple detail, I felt like it really completed the space. I added 2 squiggle wall sconces from my favorite lighting retailer called Mitzi. And this TV, it's actually the frame TV from Samsung. It's supposed to look like a piece of art on your wall, so it's not this black box staring at me constantly. I love it. Underneath, this is a piece I've actually brought with me apartment to apartment. I will actually add that a lot of these pieces I've kind of collected over time, and that's what I love about home decor and rentals. You can invest in these pieces that you bring with you space to space. So this bench was white at one point, then it was actually black, It's actually a custom stain that my handyman Graham came up with for me. He mixed it custom for me and I love the color. I think a lot of people stray away from open media consoles, but this one has a shelf at the back, so all my cords are actually shoved behind there, so it looks seamless, which is really important for me. But I just like love having a long space to decorate. I change up the decor around here all the time, putting my favorite ceramics and candles on display. And then underneath I just have my coffee table books of the moment that I'm reading. I love how much color the accessories add to this space. So instead of one large coffee table, I opted for 2 side tables side by side. A coffee table is gonna be quite large in here. It is a smaller space. So these are from Just Be Woodsy, and they're actually made from fallen trees in Toronto, where I live. So it really feels like we have a piece of Toronto in our home. I've kind of just put them together to create a coffee table vibe. We can move them if we want to, which is really handy. The sofa was an interesting dilemma for me because I really have always wanted a pink sofa. I had a pink velvet sofa in my old apartment, but the more I thought about it and the more this room came together, I really love how the furniture and like the textiles are more neutral. And then I have the option to bring in color through like my lighting, my accessories, this accent chair. So I wanted this sofa to just be like comfy, large, a really deep, comfy sofa. We could relax in at the end of the night. And having that neutral color really helps just balance everything out. So this stained glass is kind of a standalone art piece within itself. I'm pretty sure it was original to the home. Like I think there's been some sort of stained glass window there since this home was built. Obviously the glass has been changed and repaired over time. But I didn't really want to like match anything to the stained glass. I wanted it to be its own moment. So instead, with my own art, I really framed things in neutral frames, big white mats, which I love. And I've just framed like a couple of photographs that I've taken over the years, some fabric to add texture, a downloadable piece of art, which is one of my favorite ways to add art into your space, buying prints online on Etsy, downloading them and literally printing them at home on my printer. My partner's mom is actually an artist, so she has gifted us a lot of her work. There's these 3 little prints over here with this green color, which I love, and I thought it paired really nicely with our tree. Honestly, when it comes to art, I just buy what I love. If I see an artist that I really love on Instagram, I'll follow them for a while and maybe buy one of their pieces. And art is just something I love to collect, but I don't want anyone to think you have to like buy art all at once. It's taken me a while to collect pieces in my home that mean something to me. So then off of our living room is our dining room. I used our sofa to kind of create a divide between the 2 spaces. I think the hero piece in our dining room is definitely this DIY cabinet that Graham, my handyman, and I made together. This is actually an IKEA Billy bookcase with some cut down dresser drawers in here. So there's tons of storage. We keep all of our liquor, wine glasses in here. This piece definitely gets so much use during the holidays, and I love how it brings so much height into the space, like your eye goes upward, and it just makes the space feel a lot bigger, honestly. I also added a little light in here. You'll notice around my home, I have a lot of table lamps. I never turn the big overhead lights on. I come home and I just turn on all the table lamps because I love mood lighting, and I love how it makes me feel just like calmer and more cozy in my space. So I love that addition within this cabinet. For our dining table, I opted for something round. I always love using a round table in a tiny space. I think it makes the space feel more open. I've added a couple mismatched chairs, and behind us, this fireplace I know for a fact was original to the home. It's not working. It was brought up from the downstairs. So it's really just a fireplace frame, but again, it adds so much character. If I could have it my way, I maybe would paint it, but I also feel like a piece like this is original and I would feel kind of bad painting it. So I like the pop of the dark wood. I think it adds something to the space. And again, just leaning into the character of it all. So ideally, I would have fresh flowers on every surface in my home at all times, but that's just not possible. So instead, I've opted for these beautiful taper candles. I've put them in these different candle holders. They're varying heights. And again, I love just playing with color when it comes to accessories. It gives me the ability to change up my style if I ever get bored, which, you know, being someone who loves home decor, I'm changing things constantly. But that's really where I kind of focus my energy, bringing in these cute little touches of decor that I can change up at any time. We love to host, and even though we live in a smaller space, I love how it's all open concept. So sometimes people are on the sofa chit-chatting, other people are sitting at the table. We have our bar cabinet doors open, and it really feels like a free-flowing space where everyone can connect and chat with each other. Okay, before we move into the kitchen, I want to show you one of my favorite IKEA hacks. This is so handy if you have cats like I do. So I have 2 cats, Lottie and Boo. Even though this apartment is 2 levels, there's not a ton of storage or like anywhere to put a litter box without it being out in the open. So I hacked this Ivar cabinet from IKEA, and I put some cane webbing on the front, and it's literally where my cat's litter box is. All of their accessories, like their food and extra litter, are in the shelf on top. And then there's a little opening on the side, and that's where they go in and out. And it just keeps everything concealed. It keeps it mess-free, and like no one knows that it's hidden in here when they come over. I've decorated the top to just make it look like a little console. But yeah, I love this piece, and it's really, really easy to do, even if you are a DIY beginner. One really easy way you can also update your rental is by changing out your outlet covers. These are actually my own. I sell them on my website. I have a whole shop where you can buy like textiles. I have pom-pom slippers, and I source a lot of things from Morocco, specifically Marrakesh. I work really closely with artisans there. But these are made in our very own workshop. So my handyman Graham makes these, and you can paint them yourself. So we sell like DIY outlet covers. They're primed, ready to paint. You can paint them any color, but then we also update the colors every season and every launch. So yeah, I obviously replace like every outlet in my home with these, and I love how it just gives it like a cute little pop of decor. This art piece is definitely one of my favorites. It's by one of my favorite artists, Emily Keating Snyder. She actually has a piece of art on the front cover of my coffee table book, and her art's just really special to me. She paints on canvas and then uses different color thread to add texture to the art. So I have a lot of pieces of hers around my house. I guess this is a good opportunity to just note that yes, I have a lot of pink accents in my home. Pink is my favorite color to decorate with. Took a while to get my partner Noah on board, but he honestly doesn't mind. I feel like he's kind of used to the pink now. He was resistant at first, but I think it really just works together. And yeah, pink is like my signature color. So I love that there's just pops of it around our house. Okay, so now let's move into the kitchen. Can't wait to show you this space. This room was actually entirely different when we moved in. There were cabinets everywhere, and they were wood toned. They weren't my favorite. The kitchen wasn't really my style, but I knew it had really, really good bones to work with. The only thing that is kind of original to when we moved in is this island, which I love. It's a really functional piece, but it's like the last DIY that I haven't completed on my to-do list. I really want to add tile to the entire island, like tile the legs, tile the back of it, cover up all the white on the island, and yeah, add a pop of texture and color with tile. But that's a future project. The projects I did accomplish in here, I think the biggest change was I took out all the upper cabinets that were here and instead added these open shelves. I love open shelving. I have a lot of ceramic pieces that I love that I wanted to have on display, which is why I made that choice to take those cabinets down. And honestly, it brightened up the whole space. I added this tile all along the back. This is from Morocco, and it's irregular tile, so there's a lot of texture. I went with a neutral tile color because this is, at the end of the day, a rental, and I knew that my landlords maybe wouldn't appreciate me tiling the whole backsplash with like pink tile, and that's not everyone's taste, but I really think the neutral tile works. I took it almost all the way to the ceiling. And I just, again, love the texture it brings into the space. It adds a lot of warmth as well. I know not everyone can, retile their backsplash. Something I do a lot in my makeovers in other people's homes is use peel and stick backsplash. I actually used peel and stick tile backsplash in my old apartment and loved it. So that's a really great alternative if you are stuck with outdated tile. You literally just peel it and stick it over existing tile, and it looks like brand new ceramic tile. So a great option if you're a renter. The other major change I made in here was taking off all the cabinet fronts, all the drawer fronts, and painting them a new color. I went with this color. It's called Pigeon by Farrow & Ball. It's actually the same color as the cat litter box cabinet and that accent wall to really tie in the two spaces together. I just love how it's like a neutral green. And again, this is a rental, so I didn't want to, paint the cabinet fronts pink. And I think green is like a great neutral color for anyone to really enjoy. I also changed all the knobs and the pulls. A really easy way in a rental, even if you don't want to paint your cabinets, change out the knobs. I've had these specific knobs for years, carried them with me apartment to apartment. They're from CB2, and I love the shape of them, and I love the brass detailing. I also carried the paint color to this bench. I sit in this bench so much during the summer. I love to read here. I love to work on my computer. I reupholstered the cushions that were here. I'm kind of itching to change this fabric eventually as well, but I think it works for now, this cute little gingham print. And yeah, our kitchen is also where people hang out when we host. We have these two stools by the island, and it's just a really nice space to cook in and to host in. I'm a big advocate for table lamps in kitchens. I think they just add like the cutest little coziest glow. So I have one in our kitchen and I turn it on all the time, which I love. This closet could be a pantry, but we actually store our like vacuum, our cleaning supplies in here. And I thrifted this door for $100. Someone was selling it for $100. I was like, this is a steal. It was original to their home. And I installed it. I added this frosted glass so you can't see through. There was kind of like bifolding doors here before. And again, I just think it makes such a statement. And I really just, again, wanted to honor the character that was already here in this home and bring in something that just filled it with character even more. Okay, so now that you've seen the kitchen, I'm thinking we should head upstairs. I'll show you our bedroom. But first, let's talk about this staircase. So when we moved in, this staircase was covered in low pile gray carpet. I have no idea how long it had been here. What I did know is that it needed to be removed like right away. It was the first thing I think we removed because I could not stand this gray carpet. I actually installed this runner by myself. Really easy to do. Again, if you're a beginner DIYer, it was a really approachable project. I found this runner on Wayfair. I knew my cats were gonna scratch it, which they have. So I wanted something that was a little cheap and cheerful, but still had that hint of pink. And honestly, I just kind of embrace the fact that my home is going to feel lived in. I do have 2 cats, they're gonna scratch the furniture. So it doesn't bother me too much. And again, I love that I went for something that wasn't super expensive. It is a rental and I knew it was gonna get a lot of wear and tear, but it works really well and I love the color and pattern. Okay, so this little hallway and landing gets so much light because of the skylight. I wanted to capitalize on that and add a cute little gallery wall. These are all hung with command strips. I didn't want to put too many holes in the walls. And it also means that I can change up the photographs really easily if I want to. I actually used a service called Poster Jack here in Canada where I just uploaded photos from my phone and then they framed them in these beautiful square frames. And yeah, I love it up here. It's like a little moment within itself. Okay, our bedroom is just around the corner. Let's head in. on in. So while I love color and pattern and lots of texture, the goal for this room was really to just keep it as minimal and simple as possible. I find like a lot of clutter is not relaxing to me, especially in a bedroom. So I really just kept the design super, super simple. We don't have a rug down here. We love the old hardwood floors. They like creak really nicely. They're original. We really just wanted the hardwood floors to like have their moment. I did add a Moroccan runner beside the bed to bring in a little cozy element. But yeah, other than that, we left it pretty bare, which again was the goal. And it feels very serene in here. Like at night, I just come in here, I know it's time to sleep, and it relaxes my mind when there's not a lot of stuff around me. These wardrobes were here when we moved in. They're IKEA wardrobes. I painted them. I feel like a lot of people don't realize you can do this, but I gave them a good sand. I used a shellac primer, and then I painted them this neutral color. I also added trim on the bottom and on the sides so they look more built in. Before they were just kind of floating here. And then I added these really, really statement handles from Etsy, actually. I found them on Etsy. And yeah, I love how they add a bit of color, they add a little bit of texture, but again, still keeping it really neutral. So for the lighting in here, I added this pendant from Lulu and Georgia. The pendant was like not in the center of the room, not centered to the bed at least. So I just used a little cup hook to swag it so it hangs over the bed. Again, I love how it's neutral but textured. And then for our side table lights, these lights are actually really cool. They're from Casper, and you flip them over, they turn on, and then they dim themselves for a 45-minute period of time. So when they're all the way down, you know it's time to go to sleep, which I think is really great. And then you just flip them over to turn them off. So a bit of a quirk of this room is that this little alcove will only fit just a bed. We didn't have room for closed storage side tables, or at least side tables that matched each other. So we went for a king size bed. We just thought we would maximize the space for more mattress space. And instead I have this little floating table for books. And then underneath we have drawers. So really great for like extra linens, any other storage we need. And like our outlets and plugs where we charge our phone are also under there. So it's, again, keeping it really serene, not a lot of clutter, which I love. I love changing up my bedding. Sometimes it's colored, sometimes it's just like today, all white. But a little hack I have to make your bed feel extra cozy, especially during the colder months, is to add a second duvet or comforter on the foot of your bed. So this is in kind of a waffle material, and I have linen bedding, and I just love how cozy it looks. That's the goal, is for my bed to always just feel cozy and inviting. I have Brooklinen sheets on the bed. I love Brooklinen. I work with them often. Also have their pillows, which are like the comfiest pillows ever. And yeah, that's our cozy bed that I actually am kind of dying to jump into right now. I had seen this art print floating around the internet for a while, and it still remains to be one of my favorite pieces of art. I love it. So I love that it's just like above our bed, centered on the wall. And then I painted the accent wall a color called Sulking Room Pink by Farrow & Ball. It's one of my most favorite pink colors because it kind of skews like brown. It has purpley, browny undertones. And again, calm, neutral, but still that hit of pink, which I love. On this side of the bed is this little drawer from IKEA, actually. I stained it. I added some fluting on the front and these squiggle knobs. This is where I keep all my PJs. I keep my diffuser and my humidifier and my clock on top. So even though I don't have like a side table necessarily right beside my bed, it still really works for me. And honestly, when you're working in a small, quirky space, you just gotta find the solutions that work for you. This wood squiggle art is by an artist named Katie Gong. This was the first real like piece of art I think I ever bought. I love it. It's a piece of wood that she actually kind of heats up and then bends. Her art is so cool. And I love it just kind of tucked away here. And it just reminds me of like, yeah, buying my first piece of art and buying something that I just really loved that was interesting and unique. It used to be above our bed, but I think it works really well here. I always want optimal darkness when I sleep, so I got blackout curtains, and then I was on the hunt for a blackout Roman shade, which I think that people often think have to be custom. I found this company called 2 Pages. Their shades are really affordable and they make a lot of sizes. So you can usually find a size to fit your window. You don't need to make them custom. They do have a custom option if you want to go that way. But they come in so many colors and again, are pretty affordable. And I use them in a lot of my makeovers. So we love 2 Pages, and yeah, it gets very dark in here at night, which is the goal. Okay, that's my bedroom. We're gonna let Boo take her nap, and I'm gonna move out to the hallway to show you our laundry closet. So we are lucky enough to have laundry in our apartment. And this was such a cool project because it is a laundry closet. It had doors on it at one point, but they broke or fell off or something. And for a while, it was just this big open space. And I knew I had to do something because it was quite an eyesore. It also wasn't really functional. Before the makeover, there was just the washer and dryer stacked on top of each other, and there was all this dead space around it. So I actually made this little corner over. I was really struck by the fact that we had this closet that was just being so underutilized when it came to storage. And so these shelves, bringing them all the way to the ceiling, just maximize all that vertical wall space and now make it that we have like an extra closet where we can store things. Right at the top, we store extra towels, extra toilet paper. All of my laundry supplies are right here. They're easily accessible. And it is high up there, but I just use a little step stool and get the things I need. And we're living in a small space, so things have to be compact. And yeah, I love this laundry corner now. Like, it was such an eyesore before, and now I actually enjoy doing laundry on the weekend. I also love using interesting containers or baskets to store things. I think it's just fun to make like a moment out of function, and you can totally make function stylish, which is what I've tried to do on these shelves here with all my laundry supplies. Okay, that's the laundry closet. Let's head into the bathroom. So the one space in our home that's actually quite large is our bathroom. I grew up as a kid living with, my family of 4, and our bathroom wasn't even half the size of this. So this room just feels so nice. I love that we have a clawfoot tub, original to the home. There's so much storage. And yeah, I just feel really lucky to have this really big space in the city. This space is covered in tile. I wouldn't necessarily choose this tile if it was my home that I owned. So I've just tried to really work around it. And a lot of people in rentals can't change tile, especially when there's a lot of it. I also couldn't cover it with peel and stick because it's just such a large surface area. So instead, I kind of just embraced it and have made the changes that I think are the most impactful. I changed the wall sconces, added a really interesting mirror. I added plants where I could, accessories, a really fun patterned shower curtain, and yeah, just kind of changed the things that I thought would make the most impact. So if you live in a rental like me and you don't love the tile in your bathroom, just bring in really cute accessories and it'll quickly feel like yours. The one tile change I did make in here was I tiled over the backsplash that was here before with the leftover tile from our kitchen. So it's kind of nice little tie-in. And fun fact, you can actually tile over existing tile, which I didn't realize. But yeah, that is the one like major change I made in the bathroom, which really works. Okay, I have one last room to show you in my home. It's our entryway, and it is much, much smaller than the bathroom. Let's go. Okay, so on our way down to the entryway, There's this little landing, and this space always stumped me because it was really dark and didn't really serve a purpose. So I added a mirror. I love mirrors in small spaces, dark spaces especially, because they bounce off all that natural light. I painted it pink, and yeah, it's just a really like happy moment when you walk up the stairs. So let's head down there to the entryway. Come on down. An image I had saved on Pinterest for years was of Hilary Duff's home, specifically her mismatched runners going up her staircase. So I thought I would try it in my own entryway. I found all of these runners on Etsy. They were on a major sale, and I just kind of found ones that looked great together, and it now looks like this one long continuous runner. I love Moroccan rugs for high traffic areas because they just settle really well and they're easy to clean, which I also love. So when you walk in, I love that you see this hit of color and pattern, and it also looks really warm too. So we actually lived with this entryway, like not designed, not made over, for a couple years. And I'm so glad we did because I really understood the exact functional pieces we needed when I actually did make it over. I knew exactly what places we needed to put things. And I am so happy with this makeover because it's not only stylish, but it is so functional and it is so easy to keep organized because everything has its place. So starting with this kind of built-in entryway system that my handyman helped me create. So before we had hooks on the wall, our coats were getting piled on top of each other. Couldn't find what I was looking for ever. So now it's like a closet. It's open. We couldn't have it closed. There wasn't enough space, but I think this works. And we still have room to add more jackets, which I love. Everything that I grab and go every day. So like my purses, our winter accessories are in easy reach. Before, everything was really high up on a shelf there and we never grabbed the things we needed every day. So now I love that they're in easy reach. Up there is all the off-season items, things like winter skates and just things we don't grab for often. You may notice that the color on the walls is the same as in our bedroom, sulking room pink. I really wanted to lean into the darkness of this entryway and just make it feel intentional and warm, which this color really evokes. It evokes warmth and it really matches well with the stair runner colors as well. This is my other cat, Lottie. She's finally made her appearance. She loves sleeping in the entryway. I guess that just is a nod to how warm and cozy it is down here. She loves this shoe cabinet. This is one of her spots where she sleeps in. It's really cute. This shoe cabinet is probably my most favorite IKEA piece. I use this in so many makeovers, and I've brought this specific cabinet with me apartment to apartment. It holds so many shoes, but it's so narrow, so it fits in these like little nooks and crannies. I added a custom top, same color as the bench upstairs. I added knobs, same as in the kitchen, so it all ties together. My handyman, Graham, made these custom little sunglass holders, and all of our tote bags for like groceries and stuff are in there. So as you can see, like it flows really nicely. And that's just a testament to sometimes you have to really live in a space before you know exactly what it needs to be functional. But yeah, I'm in love with this space, not only because it's easy to grab and go, but because it's really beautiful. Okay, one last piece of storage. My partner is an avid skier, and because we don't have a garage or any other storage place, his skis had to somehow fit down here. And I was like, how are we gonna fit 2 pairs of full-size skis in our tiny entryway? So I found these wall-mounted ski racks on Etsy. And I love how they just make use of vertical wall space and they're not taking up our precious floor space that we don't have a lot of in this entryway. A really great product that has quite literally changed the function of this entryway. Okay, well that's it from my home. I really hope you enjoyed the tour and I'll catch you next time. Bye.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to go to homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.